The list of richest men in the world today includes a number of tech billionaires, including Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. But are you aware of this? The wealthiest businessman in history died over a century ago. In 1916, clever businessman John D. Rockefeller became the first billionaire in American history. Rockefeller established Standard Oil Company in 1870, and it went on to dominate the oil firm as a monopoly. In addition to bringing him immense wealth, Rockefeller's leadership at Standard Oil caused controversy because many people disapproved of his business methods. After challenges to Standard Oil's almost total monopoly on the market were made, the US Supreme Court decided in 1911 that Rockefeller's enormous trust ought to be broken up. Even if many disagreed with Rockefeller's professional behavior, he has donated $540 million to humanitarian and charitable groups throughout his lifetime. Let's take a deep dive into the rising story of Rockefeller early life. On July 8, 1839, John Davison Rockefeller was born in Richford, New York. He was the second of William Big Bill Rockefeller and Eliza Rockefeller's 6 children. William Rockefeller was a traveling salesman who traveled the nation offering his doubtful products. He was therefore frequently away from home. The mother of John D. Rockefeller managed all of the family's properties and raised the family largely on her own, without knowing that her husband, Dr. William Livingston, had another wife in New York. Rockefeller attended Central High School in Cleveland, Ohio, when his family relocated in 1853. Rockefeller left his high school education in 1855 to enroll in Folsom Mercantile College. 3 months after finishing the business course, 16-year-old Rockefeller was hired as a bookkeeper by produce shipper and commission merchant Hewitt and Tuttle. The initial years of business. John D. Rockefeller gained a reputation as an intelligent businessman quickly. He was organized, methodical, calm, and interested in taking chances. With meticulous attention to detail, particularly when it came to his finances, Rockefeller was able to save $1,000 from his bookkeeping work in just 4 years. In order to invest in his own commission merchant company with Maurice B. Clark, a former classmate from Folsom Mercantile College, Rockefeller added this sum to a $1,000 loan from his father. 4 years later, with a new partner, scientist Samuel Andrews, who had constructed a refinery but with no experience in commerce and commodities transportation, Rockefeller and Clark ventured into the rapidly growing oil refinery industry in the region. All 5 of the partners, including Maurice Clark's 2 brothers, agreed to sell the company to the best bidder by 1865, but their differences over administration and direction had become apparent. After winning it with a $72,500 bid, the 25-year-old Rockefeller founded Rockefeller and Andrews as a partner. Although Rockefeller's business began modestly, it quickly combined with the company of O.H. Payne, an enormous refinery owner in Cleveland, and later with other companies. In 1866, Rockefeller noticed that 70% of refined oil was exported to foreign markets. In an effort to eliminate the middleman, Rockefeller opened an office in New York City. This was a tactic he would frequently employ to reduce costs and boost revenues. Rockefeller, Andrews and Flagler was the new name of the business once Henry M. Flagler joined the organization a year later. The monopoly of Standard Oil. Despite their wealth, John D. Rockefeller and his Standard Oil Company partners aimed for even greater success. Standard Oil, several other major refineries, and significant railroads secretly merged to form the South Improvement Corporation, SIC, a holding corporation, in 1871. The smaller, independent oil refineries were charged more money by the SIC for using the railroad to transport their products compared to the larger, associated refineries, which received transportation discounts referred to as rebates. This was a clear attempt, and a successful one at that, to eliminate those smaller refineries financially. Many companies ultimately fell victim to these aggressive tactics, and Rockefeller later purchased those rivals. Thus, in 1872, Standard Oil acquired 20 Cleveland enterprises in a single month. The rival oil industry in the city was halted by what became known as the Cleveland Massacre, and Standard Oil Company gained possession of 25% of the nation's oil reserves. The media dubbed the organization an octopus. Although the Pennsylvania government disbanded the SIC in April 1872, Standard Oil had previously headed toward monopoly status, getting married and having kids. John D. Rockefeller tied the knot to the valedictorian, Laura Spellman, of his high school class on September 8, 1864, even though Rockefeller did not graduate. At the time of their marriage, Laura Celestia Spellman worked as an assistant principal. Her father was a prosperous businessman in Cleveland, and she had completed her college education. The couple had 5 children: Elizabeth, Alice, Alta, Edith, and John D. Rockefeller, Jr. As the family grew, Rockefeller purchased a sizable home on Cleveland's Millionaires Row, Euclid Avenue. Over the years, he has taken steps to own several estates to keep their family together. The most powerful family in American history, estimates fluctuate between $1 to $3 trillion for them. As we all know, the family's impact began with its founder, the oil billionaire and industrial investor, John Rockefeller, who is recognized as the richest American of all time. As a result, the oil baron John Rockefeller, an entrepreneur and industrialist, is regarded as the wealthiest American of all time. The National Register of Historic Places has listed 81 of the Rockefeller family's residences as historic sites. Death. John D. Rockefeller enjoyed his later years with his children, grandchildren, and his gardening and landscaping interests, as well as giving away his wealth. On May 23, 1937, Rockefeller passed away 2 years before he would have turned 100 years old. In Cleveland, Ohio's Lakeview Cemetery, he was buried next to his devoted mother and wife. Despite the fact that many Americans disapproved of Rockefeller for amassing his wealth through questionable business methods, Standard Oil's revenues benefited everyone on the planet. John D. Rockefeller, the oil tycoon, saved countless lives, advanced science and medicine, and educated an enormous number of people through his charitable work. His amazing journey is a good example for every entrepreneur. That brings us to the end of this video. Let us know your idea about this video.